Virginia, round of applause. Thank you very much for purpose, Virginia, round of applause. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, indeed it gives me very great pleasure to initiate the activities for the establishment of Nigeria's National Emissions Framework with this flag-off event today. You recall that Nigeria signed the Paris Agreement with the goal to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees and preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels, in addition to reducing global greenhouse gas emissions as soon as possible to achieve a climate-neutral world by mid-century. Distinguished guests, towards collaborative achievement of this global temperature goal, the federal government of Nigeria has shown exemplary initiative in this respect. At COP26 in Glasgow, Mr. President Mohammed H GCFR announced Nigeria's net zero target of 2060, making Nigeria the first major developing country and the first in Africa to undertake such a commitment. His speech marked the beginning of a roadmap signaling to the international community that while greater responsibility is on the developed world, Nigeria is committed to providing leadership in climate governance, both regionally and internationally. The government demonstrated political will with the signing of the National Climate Change Act, intended to support government's net zero agenda. As you may all be aware, operationalization of this act started with the appointment of the pioneer Director General of the Climate Change Council. The government is further taking the lead on the establishment of a trading scheme with legal framework provided in the Climate Change Act of 2021 for the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions through a cap and trade-based emissions trading schemes to meet the net zero target from today. We should all be reminded that a collective investment in addressing climate change will eventually provide immense dividends for the global economy alongside the economic co-benefits that come with it. Nigeria realizes that its efforts on carbon management policy stands to gain from aligning our national emissions planning to international mechanisms such as emissions trading scheme. If we succeed with this, Nigeria positions itself as the leading regional carbon trading center and will positively impact our environment and economy. While the ministry recognizes the importance of the involvement of all stakeholders across sectors in the ETS, as earlier alluded to by various speakers, the ministry is positioned to provide coordination at all levels required to galvanize and entrench climate action for the country. With the potential that Nigeria's carbon market presents, as alluded to by other speakers, particularly Robert, in his earlier address, Nigeria cannot afford to ignore the possibilities of generating upwards of 250 metric tons of carbon dioxide annually, amounting to an estimated value in excess of $3 billion. The Federal Ministry of Environment is therefore poised to explore all options that are driven by our domestic realities and yet in tune with global benchmarks and best practices to ensure the development of a scheme that adds value to the environment, trigger bankable and commercial transactions, which will ultimately generate jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that this event will trigger the critical first steps towards defining rules and responsibilities to institutions and entities that will ensure the objectives of the National Emissions Scheme is met, which should essentially deliver on an effective mechanism for successful carbon pricing for Nigeria. We are not only in a hurry, but we are determined to do a 100 meters dash in this process. We may falter, but we'll make corrections along the way. So therefore, this flag-off event signals the commencement of activities that will lead to the establishment of Nigerian emission trading scheme, sensitize the public, and ensure coordination with other relevant arms of government and development partners under the leadership of the Federal Ministry of Environment with very active collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Trade and Industries. I want to take this opportunity to thank our strategic and worthy partner, United Nations Development Programme, for the support provided for this event today and numerous other programs undertaken by the ministry. We also appreciate the presence of all the MDS, private sector operatives, and other partners that are here. With the commencement of the implementation of Nigeria's National Climate Change Act to provide required legal support for Nigeria's emissions trading, it is indeed a great pleasure, personally, for me, that I hereby plug off these activities towards enabling programs emission trading framework. I thank you for listening.